You can't help but do that, can you?
No, yeah,
It's just how it's just how it is. Hey, everybody, hello,
Hi,
hi Kyle.
hi, Rico. How are you?
I'm doing well, and thank you for taking time out of your busy cockpit. And
Yes.
we're gonna see how many times we can say cockpit tonight, too. By the way, and different meanings, and cockpit is the
Yes.
word of the day. Hashtag cockpit. You can win absolutely nothing. Hashtag cockpit. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. The person who comes up with the best cockpit joke gets a Rico Stan t-shirt. We'll do that tonight. How about that? So you gotta save those though. Save those jokes because I won't see them until we get to the end. And mods, if you would, maybe remind people as we get closer to the end. Again, let me do my normal spiel. Kyle and I, we're just going to have a conversation. We're not going to be looking at the chat at all. If somebody comes in and asks questions, please, mods, let them know. We'll make sure. I don't want people thinking we're just not saying hi or whatever. But once we do open it up to the questions and stuff, we'll also open it up to whoever has the best cockpit, either joke or reference or whatever makes me laugh the hardest for the phrase cockpit. Will win a Rico Stan t-shirt tonight. Let's do that.
Internet.
I'm already laughing. Hold on. I need to get a drink from my half gallon of water.
I'm just laughing as to the possibilities that might emerge.
Yes, I think it's going to be good. I think we're going to force them to be creative.
Yes.
We're going to force them to be creative. All right. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's jump in. Oh, real quick. Couple of things. Well, I just saw Ricky De Hoyos dropping a $4.99 super chat. I love you, Rico, or love you, Kyle, and Rico too. Ellipsis. Oh, it's not even ellipsis. There's 4 of them, so it's not even ellipsis. It's 4 of them, 4 dots, and Rico too.
Ricky, I mean, I love you too, buddy, but you got some tight competition between Eric and Steven, so.
Go over to KG Tropicals and read their community page. A person had passed away I didn't really know him. His name was, I forgot what his name was. I don't even want to say. Mods, if you could please drop that. A gentleman who was involved with the salty side of things passed away. He was very young. He has a wife who's pregnant with their first child. Jake Adams. Thank you, Whip. Jake Adams. There's some information about it over there on KG Tropicals. I guess him and John were good friends, and John was pretty ripped up. And also, if the mods want to drop the GoFundMe for that, if I don't know the gentleman, I honestly, I'll be honest, I've never heard of him, but it's incredibly sad when such a young person who's, just starting their life with a family passes on like that. So, anyways, all right. So, didn't want to start it on a downer, but just wanted to bring that up. Okay. Hi, Kyle.
Hi, Rico.
Let's see. So obviously I know you live in Colorado. Yep. I know you with your lovely wife, Beccs. Mm-hmm. But you are originally from Florida?
South Florida. Yep. The Fort Lauderdale area.
Florida. Okay. You know what? Walk us through. So you were born in Florida because you've been around a lot. So walk us through all the places, just briefly touch on all the places, and then we'll go back and talk about some of those special places you lived.
I mean, I wouldn't say I've been around a lot, but, I was born and raised in the Fort Lauderdale area. Spent, when did I go to Tampa? I will say 21, 22 years old. I went to college in Tampa where I met Becca and, moved back home after that and, got into air traffic. And then they sent me over to St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So we both spent about a year and a half there. And then from there, we went to Westminster, Colorado, just outside Denver. Spent 5 years there. Now we're down here in the Springs.
Oh, I thought for some reason like North or South Carolina was a longer stop. Was like a longer stop.
Yeah, no, Becca's the one that spent some time in North Carolina.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, she was born in South Carolina.
I'm gonna pre-apologize because I bet you I'm gonna do that a lot. I'm gonna get a lot of her stories mixed up with you.
Nah, it's all good. Yeah, she's the military brat, so she's the one that's kind of been all over.
Okay.
I've visited a lot of places, but I've only lived in a handful.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Out of all those places, is Colorado your favorite?
That's definitely among them.
Okay.
I started coming out to the West Coast when I was in my late teens, early 20s. I was working at Boy Scout camp for about 3 summers in New Mexico when I think I was 18 or 19 the first summer, and I've been to Colorado before that too. And I love the West Coast, and as soon as I saw a chance to come out here, I took it. I love Colorado. I love Washington State. Northern California is beautiful. Basically that's a winded way of saying I got to Florida as soon as I could.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And we're going to talk about that a little bit too. And I'm with you though. I've been to Colorado quite a few times. I remember passing through Pueblo. So I think Boulder. Yep. No, what's close to Pueblo?
Colorado Springs.
Yeah, that might have been where we were.
We're about 45 minutes or an hour north of Pueblo.
That might have been where we were.
Yeah, Boulder is closer to Denver.
Okay. Boulder, I always remember from Mork and Mindy.
Yep.
That's where Mork and Mindy
Yep. was. I actually forgot about that.
Because he always wore the I always, because at the time I did live in Arizona, and when I thought of Colorado, it was always because Mork and Mindy. Yeah. So I always thought of open air Jeeps and the vests and all that kind of stuff. It's always in my mind that everybody in Colorado drives a Jeep.
It's Subaru now, but yes.
Gotcha. Yeah. Sorry, I'm so thirsty. So Florida, what did you dislike about Florida?
I think the list of what I liked is shorter.
Okay. Let's do that instead then.
The heat and the humidity I couldn't stand. The people, the fact that, I'm huge on the outdoors. I love hiking. I love camping. I can't really do that in Florida. And when I can, it was probably a good 6 or 7 hour drive from where I was. So I could just dip up there on the weekend. I lived right on the outskirts of the Everglades. So we got all the mosquitoes, all the humidity, I did not like it there. I was always maintained that I was born on the wrong side of the country. The people, the traffic, you name it. I could not get out of there fast enough.
Gotcha. It's just too sticky.
Yeah, it's too
Florida's
sticky.
Too sticky.
I can do heat or humidity, but I can't do both.
Gotcha. And no offense to you Floridians, I know we have quite a few of them in the Fishfam, and they're almost all entirely awesome people, except for that Eduardo guy.
Yeah,
he's a little out there.
I mean, if I need another reason to not live in Florida, that's the one.
we love you, Eduardo. We're joking. What about St. Thomas though? What did you like or dislike about living there? What were some of the things that stood out for you?
So there were quite a few dislikes on that, but I consider myself lucky because that was my very first air traffic facility, and there's not a whole lot of people that can say they got their start in St. Thomas.
Gotcha.
It's a small island, maybe 7 miles by 3 miles. There wasn't a whole lot to do. And what there was to do, you can finish in 3 months. Unless you're big on boating or diving or water sports, which I'm not, you very quickly run out of things to do.
Gotcha.
And some more dislikes was everything kind of ran on island time. So if you need a service somewhere, they'll get to it when they get to it. There's no sense of urgency to get things done. The island would just tear your car apart. And the problem with that is that the auto parts stores there would keep brakes and windshield wipers and some of the more common parts, but anything else you had to get from Puerto Rico, and it took no less than a week and a half to get.
Oh,
yeah. So,
gotcha.
I mean, the good thing about St. Thomas is that we were about maybe a 2.5 hour flight from Miami and the rest of the mainland US. So it wasn't that difficult to hop on a plane and go somewhere.
Okay.
But,
it sounds like heaven to me. I mean, because I'm so lazy that, not having any, we'll get to it when we get to it.
Spiders.
And yes, and I have been told that I forgot about the giant spiders that live down there.
That. Yeah, what are they? What kind of spiders do you know? Do you know what they are?
Big one that we had down there were huntsman spiders. And
I've heard of those.
yeah, we had some that were literally the size of your hand.
We're gonna look those up real quick and show people what they look like. I've heard of the huntsman.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't hate spiders, but they're not my favorite thing. I'm the one that kills the spiders. But even then, we woke up one morning, and I looked up at the at our AC vent. There's a huge one. I damn near jumped out of the bed.
The spider.
Yes, the spider
was the cane spider.
And I've been corrected. The cane spider.
Cane spider. Okay, hold on. We're gonna look at that one too. Let me show the huntsman real quick here. There we go. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. There we go. Oh, sorry. Look, I got all kinds of stuff going on. Obviously, an upside down image of it.
I just heard from the bedroom, Rico, God damn it.
And we're going to look at the cane one too. I'm going to, let me look that one up real quick as well. I want to see, because I don't know the cane spider.
Yeah, we also had suicidal iguanas down there.
Yeah. Tell us about those.
So I just remember one day, Beck and I were walking out, and we were going grocery shopping or something, and I opened the door. So the way our house was in St. Thomas was you went down the stairs, you went through a wooden door. That wooden door led to a front porch, and from there you'd enter the house. So we come out of the house. It's a sliding glass door, and we open the wooden door to go upstairs to the car. And there's this huge, probably 4-foot iguana that just was there. I opened the door, I jumped back because I wasn't expecting it. He runs up, and there was like a bench that went along the length of the wall. He jumps up on that, jumps up on top of the wall, and jumps off. It's probably a good 30 or 40-foot drop down to the ground. We just look at each other and go, what the hell did we just see?
Well, you scared the shit out of him. That's what happened.
He scared the shit out of us.
He jumped to his death because you scared him. You should feel horrible.
Nah, sorry.
I like this picture. Oh, damn it. That's not even a picture. It was a damn video, but I'm just looking at images. That's weird. All right. I'm not really finding a really good one, the cane. Nothing that really shows the scale and everything. So just know, people, that it's just another big, ugly spider.
Yeah.
Now, you don't really mind them too much. It's just that the fact that they're so big.
Yeah. It's like I said, I don't hate spiders. They're not my favorite thing, but I tolerate them. It's like the misunderstood spider meme.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. I love them. I've got them all over. Michelle doesn't come in here too often because there's spider web up here that's just massive. In fact, yeah, it goes all the way to the corner. There's spider webs all up here. And I leave them on purpose. They take care of the bugs. I don't mind them.
Yeah,
don't mind them at all.
And when I was living in Florida, going through the Everglades and any wooded areas, we saw the giant banana spiders that made the really ornate webs. I always thought those were kind of cool.
Banana spiders would go very well with cockpit. I think banana spiders and cockpit.
Banana spiders and cockpit. Do your thing,
Chad. And again, just want to remind the people in the chat. I know a lot of people coming in. There's 60 people watching. Oh, 58 now. 58 people watching. When we do open it up to the questions from the chat, whoever comes up, whoever makes me laugh the hardest with a joke or reference or something about the phrase cockpit wins a Rico Stan t-shirt tonight. So, save those though, so we can go.
Yeah.
At the end, because I won't see them now anyways. Okay. So the spiders, the iguanas, what about the rum in St. Thomas?
Is there rum is super cheap.
Was there any really, really good rums in St. Thomas?
So Cruisin' Rum is actually distilled down island in St. Croix. So that was like the official rum of the Virgin Islands. In fact, when you get off either the plane at the airport or at the boat in the harbor, you have somebody there that they pay to give you just a shot of rum as you're walking off.
Nice.
And at the time, gas down there was like $5 a gallon. Rum was like $8 for a thing. So it was basically cheaper to drink than it was to drive.
See, it still sounds like my kind of place. The phrase down island, do they use the phrase up island too?
Not really.
So there can't be an up island, but there's always a down island.
I'm sure there could be, but yeah, it was mostly down island.
Okay.
Down island is basically anything that was not St. Thomas. You know, so you had Puerto Rico to the west, that was down island. You had, St. Martin and the other Windward Isles down there. That was all Down Island.
Okay, I just never heard that phrase before.
Yeah,
I've never been lucky enough to live in the Caribbean or anywhere in the Atlantic. So absolutely love it. I would love to go there. That sounds like my kind of place. Just staying on the beach all day long.
I mean, it has its appeal to it, but again, I'm not much of a beach person living in Florida. Again, back to the whole born on the wrong side of the country type thing.
And being a younger person, I mean, you still had everything, you know, you were still wanting to go out and do stuff, you know.
Exactly.
I get that.
Exactly.
I don't want to do stuff. I want to sit in my hammock and just, you know, that's what I want to do. So
yeah, and it'd be funny you mention that because a lot of people in St. Thomas would actually they're not expats, but they would come from the mainland US and they'd live there. They'd retire down there. The guy that owned our house was he was a lawyer down there, but he was getting up there, so he was probably going to retire before long. But yeah, there's a lot of expats down there.
Yeah,
because for that very reason.
Now, is it it's obviously an American territory, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't have been air traffic control. So never mind. I answered my own question. Okay.
Right, but officially it's a U.S. possession. But you know, FedEx, UPS, sometimes Amazon. A lot of times they would charge international rates for shipping.
Gotcha.
So, and in fact, when we first moved down there, I remember being on the phone with the bank, and I basically had to prove to them that the Virgin Islands were a U.S. territory. It's like, lady, it's called the United States Virgin Islands.
Yeah, that's right in the name. It's right in the name.
Like, we never had anybody that lives there. Well, now you do.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you,
not that hard.
It's got a U.S. area code. It's got a U.S. zip code. There's a U.S. post office right down the road from me. It's a U.S. possession.
Yeah. Yeah. So, where did you guys go right after St. Thomas then? Was that back to Florida? Or was that out to Colorado?
No, that was out to Colorado.
Okay. And then you've been there since.
Yeah. Yeah. We made a quick stop in Florida for me to pick up some stuff from my parents and to pick up some stuff in Tampa. But then we skedaddled out to Colorado.
And now how long again in Colorado?
Let's see. We moved out here in 2014. So 8 years. Yeah.
Okay. And it's definitely home.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about leaving? Okay, go ahead.
There is a possibility. We've talked about it. Housing has gotten very expensive here, to the point where it's pricing a lot of people out of the market. But you know, we've been looking at places like Becca really liked the area of Pennsylvania we were in. We both really like the DC area too. So we are talk about the possibility of moving back east at some point.
Gotcha.
In the near future.
It's all predicated on what you can find at the time, right?
Yeah.
What you can apply for. And,
yeah.
We'll dig into that air traffic control stuff a little bit too, because I'm curious on how that all comes about. So
yeah, definitely.
And there's a lot of really cool Fishfam people in that area. Obviously, you know, there's a ton of Pennsylvania people. You got a lot of Maryland people. You got a Delaware guy or two. You got those Jersey folks.
Yeah,
so the whole area.
And you know, Becca was talking the other day that's a lot of the reason why she really liked that area, because you know there's a lot of Fishfam people out there. I mean, the scenery is really pretty. You know, I've spent a lot of time in my youth but visiting Western New Jersey and Eastern Pennsylvania. So it was nothing new to me. It's stuff that I've been seeing for 37 years. Yeah. But you know, for her, she said that's a lot of the reason why she wants to move out there, because she's got so many of her friends in such a relatively short, like commuting distance.
Yeah, yeah.
And
it is a beautiful area. It really is.
It is.
I mean, even around like Scranton and stuff, it's still, you know, there's a lot of people that live in that corridor, tons of people that live in that corridor there. But there's still ways to get away from those people and live a little bit rural and, you know, find nice places away from it. And you're not far from all those services.
Absolutely. You know, and if Jason and Fishfam are here, you know, they know that I've spent a lot of time in the Allentown and the Phillipsburg, New Jersey area. So that's all right there.
And, you know, the one thing, Colorado is just so much more pines, right? I mean, you do have the, what's the kind of tree? It's the one tree it's all of them are one part.
Oh, the aspens.
Aspens, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot of aspens and stuff, but you just don't have as many deciduous trees
Yeah.
in Colorado as you do. So, and I know that's a weird thing to think about, but it is a different thing. It really is. I mean, I love pine trees too, but the deciduous trees, the change of seasons really is energizing. Really is.
I mean, when it comes to trees, there's not a whole lot of biodiversity out here.
Yeah.
But fun fact, and Becca thought I had like 4 heads first time we discovered this, but the ponderosa pine smells like vanilla. So if you walk up to a ponderosa pine, it'll smell like vanilla extract. And I think she thought I had 4 heads when I did that. I'm like, come over and try it. So she did. Yeah. She's like, oh my God, it does taste like vanilla.
And taste?
Oh, I don't know.
You said taste like vanilla.
Taste like vanilla?
So she's out there tasting the trees.
Yes. Just, just licking the bark,
It's speaking of Beccs licking wood, she gave me a $4.99 super chat too. And she said, we could be living close to Rico. I will bring him pie. See, that sounds like heaven to me. But you're right about the ponderosa pines. And there's a lot of those in northern Arizona too. We used to always go up on the Mogollon Rim, and the fire that you get from the ponderosa pine, it just smells like nothing else. I've never ever smelled that anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's such a great Kelly. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the chat. Kelly said I sniff the trees in Colorado too. I've heard of tree huggers, but never tree lickers. Sorry, just
that one that we can get to later.
Ponderosa pines. Okay, so you're thinking about maybe moving back east.
Yeah.
It's on the radar.
Yeah. Haha, I see what you did there. Yes, it is definitely on the radar. We are exploring our options. Maybe we'll stay in Denver. I don't know. It depends on how that plays out. Maybe not.
Yeah. You don't hate it there, obviously. You like it there, so
yeah.
There's definitely plenty to like about the area.
Definitely.
So. Okay, that's acceptable. You're allowed to move back east. I think I'll talk to the people and make sure everybody's good with it. But I think everybody's gonna be fine.
You hear that?
Maybe not Kirk. Kirk, my fishing mom, might
Rico's blessing, hon.
Yeah, you're good.
So let's make it happen.
Just let them know if you cross just over into the New York border, then you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Oh, I'd love to check out your area. I've always wanted to kind of go to upstate New York and just see the Adirondacks and the Catskills.
I think that was a euphemism. You want to check out my area, but
yes.
It is. No, it is. The Catskills, the Finger Lakes. There's a lot of waterfalls. There's a lot of hiking. You said you like the outdoors, and most people don't think of New York as being that type of place. They think of the city and stuff. Yeah. But there really is. If you are a nature lover, there's a lot to love about New York. I see Dave Farrell in the chat. They live in the Adirondacks, which is one of my favorite places on earth. And, I've been over the lower 48. I've never been to Alaska or Hawaii. I haven't been to Washington or Oregon on my bucket list. Beautiful, beautiful places. But the Adirondacks are some of my favorite. It's just a beautiful area. It really is.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of that kind of stuff to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about hobbies? Let's sort of switch gears. No. You know what? Let's not yet. Let's get into hobbies later. Let's get into the air traffic control stuff. So when did you know that you wanted to get involved with that? Have you always, like when you were a little kid, were you like, you had little Boeing 747s and stuff? Or
I'm 37. I still have Boeing 747s in the guest bedroom. But, if anybody is standing, they may want to sit down for this because I'm about to make a groundbreaking revelation. It might surprise, not a lot of people know this, but it might surprise everybody to know that I've dabbled with airplanes a little bit. So
Discord.
So I've always known I wanted to do something in aviation. Like a lot of us in my field, I grew up knowing 100% I wanted to be a pilot. I'm going to be a pilot. I'm going to fly these planes all over the world.
Wow. So what age roughly? I mean, as far back as you can remember?
As far back as I can remember. My mom tells stories of me in the stroller as a kid, pointing up to airplanes going, D, just kind of following with my finger.
Okay. So yeah, you definitely, consistency is definitely one of your strong points.
Yeah. So, and you know, we lived under the flight path of Fort Lauderdale Airport, so I saw them fly overhead all day long. So then the community college by me where I grew up, that one of their campuses had a flight program. So all through high school, all through middle school, I was going to go to that program, become a pilot. That didn't happen. I took some gen ed classes. I actually started college as an aviation operations major. And as I'm going through the program, I'm realizing just how prohibitively expensive it is to fly.
Gotcha.
So, you know, I got through most of the classes for aviation operations, but I stopped short because I had to take physics. I couldn't figure out what that had to do with what I was studying, but I was going to take physics. So I got out of that program. I changed over to political science. And then I transferred. I didn't really give it much thought until afterwards. I went to college, met Becca. Ask and I shall receive. She wants me. I'm playing with something underneath the desk here because I fidget a lot. So she came out. She came out and said, "Stop playing with things."
You're fine. That's all right. You fidget away, man. It's all right. It doesn't. It's not distracting.
So I transferred to a 4-year, finished my degree in political science, and trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life afterwards. You know, aviation's always kind of been one of those things where it's something I've always kind of gone back to. I've considered other things, but for whatever reason, aviation always kind of pulls me back.
Yeah.
So graduate the 4-year university. I'm working at a grocery store at the time. And I found out that this same community college just a couple of years before actually had an air traffic control CTI, what they call Collegiate Training Initiative program. And, you know, it wasn't anything that I was seriously considering growing up, but I'm like, what the hell? Threw my hat in. I'll give it a shot, see what happens. So I went through that program. That took me about an additional year and a half. And then I got hired as a remote pilot operator in Miami. So I was the one that was sitting behind the computer, manipulating the planes for the current air traffic controllers that were working there and other facilities. I was kind of a training aide.
Wait a minute. Explain that a little. I'm sorry. Explain that a little more. So, as the training, as they're going through their training, you're the guy doing Microsoft Flight Sim and
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
I'm manipulating the planes. I'm using the proper phraseology because that particular job, they like to hire a lot of the air traffic control graduates from the local community colleges because, you know, they know that acted at the time as a pipeline, kind of the FAA. And B, you know, they can hire them because they know the procedures, they know the phraseology. So anyway, fast forward ahead, I got picked up doing that job for a few months, and I was at the job for less than a year before I got picked up by the FAA. We're doing that ever since. So from the time I graduated with that air traffic degree to when I started, it was about a year and a half.
Pretty quick. And so, and again, what's our total time frame now that you've been doing that?
Just over 10 years.
Wow. So is that considered senior at that point, or is there a lot of people that have been doing it for, you know?
Well, we are union, so it is based on seniority. And at my current facility, I'm like right in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not unusual for a lot of people to go on 25, 30 years in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
In fact, we were forced to retire at 57. So you can technically get hired at 18. I'm sorry, 56. You can technically get hired at 18 and work that whole time. The youngest controller I've ever met is 2021.
Okay.
But, you know.
So 30, 35 years is the most that you would see people doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I didn't know that either. Gotcha. And you obviously still like it today. Do you think about, you know, doing something different? Like you said, it's always pulled you back in, but is this it for you? Is this your career and this is what you see retiring from? Okay.
Yes.
That's got to be sort of a double-edged sword. A little bit, it's got to be a little bit, you know, that stability of knowing what you want to do for so long, but then also at the same time, a little bit of, man, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I mean, it is, but you know, I still enjoy it. I enjoy going to work. I enjoy what I do. besides, and in a way, I'm kind of glad piloting didn't work out because unlike pilots, I'm actually home every night.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not on the road for weeks at a time, spending every night in a different city.
Yeah. And that's got to be incredibly hard on relationships.
Yeah.
Being that. So, now I remember back, what was it, like in the late 80s or something, when before your time, right? But before, when the major strike happened, and like, so a lot of that was talking about burnout and things, that it was such a stressful job. Is that still true today? I'm sure sometimes it is, but has that gotten better? Is it less stressful than it used to be?
It in certain ways. I mean, the strike was in 81, so we're coming up to 40 years since then.
81. Okay.
And we have a lot more that's been automated these days. But that strike is, even to this day, has always been kind of a case study in labor, and stuff like that. It's as stressful as you make it. A lot of days you're just sitting there looking out the window, twiddling your thumbs, just waiting for anything to happen. But,
and not in a NASCAR accident way, but like in
NASCAR, yeah, there have been days where I'm sitting on position for an hour and a half and I talk to one airplane at the very beginning of me plugging in. Now I'm just sitting up there, just BSing with some coworkers, reading up on some publications. I might finish some training on the computer and back. It can be boring, but you also have moments that are really ass kicking busy. And then they throw an emergency in there. At that point, you just kind of fall back on your training to get you through it.
Gotcha.
So it's periods of boredom punctuated by moments of sheer excitement.
Okay. It's like any of those type of jobs,
Exactly.
Firefighter or any of those needed services like that.
Yeah.
I guess they're all sort of that way.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing with my job is that it's one of those where you don't want excitement to happen a lot.
Yeah. Because if it's exciting, then something bad's going down.
Yeah.
So a little bit, it's always interesting when I do these interviews, when I find out those little bits of commonality with people. And when I was a kid, my dad worked in northern Indiana, all the way from South Bend down to Wakarusa. I can't remember the name of the town, not Wakarusa. That was up there. Anyways, from basically Fort Wayne to South Bend in northern Indiana, he was the guy who took care of the electronics that when the towers shut down, I guess at night, and there was nobody in the tower for these little airports, they used some type of automated thing or something. And he was the guy who fixed all those. So he was constantly going to all these places. I remember numerous times going with him. He'd just go out into a field and there'd be this big box that he'd have to, open up, big metal box. And quite a few times I saw him shock himself too, really bad, like really bad. Like it would kick him back. One time he gashed his head really big because these big metal things that he had to open up had, sides on them. And one time he got shocked and it knocked him up and gashed his head really bad. But, so my dad worked. I mean, it's not the same thing, obviously, you're doing, but he worked on the equipment that they use. Now, do they still have any of that type of stuff? What would have that been? Do you have any idea? We're talking early 70s.
Yeah, I mean, not every tower is open 24 hours a day. In fact, the one that I worked at Westminster closed at 10 o'clock every night. So when that happens, upstairs right before we close, we were flipping a bunch of switches, pushing buttons for the overnight operation. So what he was probably working on was, the automated weather information that might be coming through. He might be working on some of the transmitters for some of the frequencies that are being used. He was probably what we call tech ops, who basically they fix what we break.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's fun going with them. I remember going to a lot of places. I remember going to Fort Wayne to the little airport there, and the guy had like a little airplane model. Back at the time, monsters were the big thing. It was like late 60s, early 70s, and monsters were everywhere. And it was a little airplane that was stunted, and it had a prop on it, and you could hit a button, and it would like rock, and the prop would turn, and the monster would do something. And that still sticks with me all these years later. So it was always fun going with them to those places.
Yeah.
Every airport all those little airports, they all smelled the same though. It was so weird. They all smelled like air conditioning on a bus. I don't know how to describe it, but I can still smell it. They all smell the same. Did you find that with the different towers that you go to? Did you never notice anything like that? I know
Not
it's
really.
a weird question.
Yeah, it definitely is, but not really.
No, that's probably just something in my head.
Hey, sometimes those things just stick with you for whatever reason.
Those smells and sights and sounds, all that stuff. Oh, okay. All cockpits smell. I just looked down at Eduardo and said, gotta hold on to those jokes. Eduardo. Okay. So let's shift over to the hobbies now. So I don't know what your hobbies are. Now I know that you do still like to fly. You have a pilot's license, right?
I have a student pilot's license. I
Student. Okay.
I have roughly 55 hours in the cockpit, but I haven't flown since we moved down to Springs. Just ran out of time and money, and at some point I do plan on going back and finishing it.
Is there levels with that too? Is there like you've got your basic where you can fly like the little Cessnas and stuff,
Absolutely.
and then you've got the commercial and
so you start off with your private pilot's license. So you can fly little Cessnas, little Cherokees, but you can only fly those in good weather.
Okay.
After that, you would get what's called an instrument rating, which allows you to legally fly in below what they call VFR minimums. You can fly in bad weather.
Oh,
and then from there, you get your commercial pilot's license, your multi-engine rating. It goes all the way up to ATP, airline transport pilot, which is what all the major airlines require. It's essentially the PhD of pilot's licenses.
Gotcha. You know what? We need to take that program and apply it to our regular driver's licenses.
No kidding.
There's a lot of people that need to learn how to drive and inclement weather.
No kidding.
Weather.
Inclement. Yes.
I can't have a hard time saying it. Inclement weather. But yeah, there's a lot of people that definitely, and I like that idea. I think we should do that.
Yeah.
I think we should do that. It would probably save a lot of lives until the autonomous vehicles get here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't get to fly anymore, but what are some of your other hobbies? What kind of stuff do you like to do?
I love the outdoors. I'm a big hiker, love camping, love backpacking. The latter two I haven't had much of a chance to really do for the last several years. But I try to get out at least a couple every few months and get a hike in somewhere. I'm always planning for a backpacking trip that never happens.
Yeah. You have all the stuff, don't you?
I have most of the stuff. Yeah. I did Boy Scout camp. I was backpacking the Pecos Wilderness for 3 summers. So I still have a lot of that stuff that I used. I've gotten into recreational shooting, going to the range once a month or so.
Real quick. Killer Kitty, thank you very much. A $3 super chat. My hero. Thank you so much. Killer Kitty always coming through like that. Does that on so many different channels too. Thank you so much. Okay.
So
big outdoors guy. Yeah.
Video gaming, and I've been trying to get back into like playing my guitar and violin more lately. Prior to the clash, the guest bedroom was full of the stuff that Becca needed, so I didn't really have a place to play. But now that that's over, the guest bedroom is clear. I can start trying to play again.
Acoustic, electric, what?
I've got both. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends on what I'm feeling for that day.
What kind of music do you like to play?
Mostly rock.
Okay.
I've got a list of several songs I played as a kid that I haven't really not played. So I just kind of keep going back there, but I'll pick up the acoustic and just strum it, just tinker with it a little bit. Yeah, exactly. I think every guitar player learns how to play that within 10 minutes of picking it up.
I know how to play that, and I can't play it, at all. Even I know how to play that. Excuse me. So sorry. Oh, and what about the violin too? Have you played the violin a long time, or?
I've been playing violin since 6th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in Good.
Go ahead.
I was
orchestra?
I was in orchestra, and at the time I think it was an elective, and the teacher's like, okay, first day, everybody pick one. And I'm like, violin sounds kind of cool. So I grabbed a violin and
can you play? I mean, would you, if you played something for me, would I recognize it?
Probably. That's again
Okay.
another one of those things that I haven't really picked up since high school, just for various reasons. But Beck has really been encouraging me to start picking it up again and get back into playing music.
That creative stuff is important. I
It
don't
is.
have that skill at all, but in any of those creative things, and it's something I've always wanted to have. I just never. I guess I mean a lot of people don't have it innately; they have to work at it, and I've just never been interested enough to work at it. I guess so. My daughter, though, very musical. She does play the violin. She plays the ukulele, the guitar. She can sing. She's just very, very talented that way. Back to the video games.
Yeah.
What do you get into the most? Flight Sim?
No. I actually, believe it or not, I actually have the new Microsoft Flight Simulator that came out like 2 years ago, but I haven't had a computer to play it. So
You did this. You did this.
New Flight Simulator.
Oh, I thought you were saying simulator, like it wasn't really good or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have the download codes been sitting in my inbox for like 2-3 years. I just haven't been able to use it. But I really like the first person shooters. The Far Cry series. I'm playing The Witcher 3 right now, thanks to Steven.
Love that game. Game. I have hours into it. I need to go back to it too because there was some extra DLC that I got that I never finished, but I finished the rest of it, and I just absolutely love the entire Witcher series. If you haven't played the other two, it's hard to go back in those types of series and play the other ones because I always feel like they build on it, and generally the games are better, as they go.
Yeah,
but there is something to said for those first two.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I know it's the third in a series, and that's one thing I don't particularly like is that you kind of have to know what happened before that to kind of really understand. And since I only have a PlayStation 4 and nothing before that, I've never played the first two.
PC.
I've never, other than Flight Sim, I've never really been a huge PC gamer.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't really been a huge gamer prior to me getting together with Becca. To be fair, prior to me getting together with Becca, she was a big gamer growing up, and she kind of got me into it. So we picked up PlayStation a few years ago, and now I play a lot.
Me too. I Xbox. Nothing against PlayStation. We have a PlayStation 4. I don't have the 5, but I do have the brand new Xbox and absolutely love it. It's just because that's where the most of the game. I don't really care for Japanese role-playing games as much. There are still good role-playing games on the Xbox or on PlayStation, but the ones that I like to play the most are just happen to be on the Xbox. So that's why I've gone that route.
Yeah. And I have game ADD, and the fact that I get like halfway through one game and then I go to another. I've been playing BioShock for like 4 years.
Yes. Same with me with that specific game. With that specific one, I never can get too far into it before I quit and go play something else.
Yeah.
I love the idea of it, but that specific game does that to me all the time. Definitely want to. I'm going to go back to The Witcher now too and do that. We could have a Fishfam night on PS4.
I'm down.
Metalhead said.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably one of the most perfect games ever made.
Quit that about halfway through as well and never went back. I got trouble with some of the tasks or the quests, especially when you're chasing somebody on horses. I always had a problem doing that first. My hands don't work as well as they used to, so I always had problems doing those, and I got frustrated and I never went back to it.
Yeah, and Horizon Zero Dawn is amazing. And I
don't think I've played that one.
I have the sequel that I cannot wait to eventually get around to playing.
I know that, but I can't remember.
Yeah, it's about these biomechanical machines.
Yes.
That the first one takes place in what is now Colorado, Utah, Wyoming. So it's kind of fun going around picking out the spots that we know. This next one takes place in what used to be California, and like the Yosemite area. So I mean, if it's anything like the first one, then Becca's gonna lose me at that game because I'm gonna play it until I can't anymore.
Yeah. What about the Fallout series? I don't want to go too deep. I'm sorry, people that don't game. Fallout series? Did you play any of those?
The only one I've played is Fallout 4.
Okay, it's still good. I like it. I think 3 is my. I don't know if it's New Vegas or 3 is my favorite, but
now PlayStation Plus just kind of revamped their membership, and if I upgrade, I'll have access to all like the old games, including Fallout 3 and New Vegas. So I might do that at some point because I'm told New Vegas is amazing.
It's good. It's very good. Yeah, it's a great game. And just like on the Xbox, you have Game Pass Ultimate. Those are available there too. So it's nice that we can get most of those games on both platforms.
Yeah.
I say both. We do have the Nintendo Switch too, but and I like the Switch. Don't get me wrong, but it's sort of an also ran to me. You know what I mean? It's one that I go back to once in a while, but most of it's on the other platforms. So, okay, so video games, hiking. You didn't say anything about like kayaking or anything like that. Have you ever canoed much? Have you ever kayaked much?
In fact, one of our first dates, I took Becca canoeing on one of the rivers in Tampa. But yeah, I like kayaking. I like canoeing. I haven't done.
How did that go? How did that go? Did you?
I mean, we're married, so.
Okay.
It's
always a good test.
Yes. So I do enjoy kayaking and canoeing a lot. I just haven't had a chance to do it again. That was one good thing about Florida is that I could pretty much rent one anywhere. Out here, it's a little bit more difficult, and the kayaking that you see is like whitewater, which I love whitewater rafting, but canoeing or whitewater kayaking, I don't know about that. I don't nearly have the skill set I need for that.
Yeah, I've done a little bit. I know Geek Boy really enjoys it. He's done that quite a bit. I am more about the quiet water myself, and obviously that's all around us, and just absolutely love getting out there and just calm, zen, listening to the birds, being outdoors. Just absolutely love it. Miss it so much.
In fact, the Boy Scouts one year, we went up to Wisconsin and did some kayaking in the Apostle Islands on Lake Superior.
Oh yeah,
so that was nice. Really neat. Yeah, that was really.
Do you remember what kind of kayaks were they? The sea kayaks where you're in the cockpit and it's all sealed up and everything.
I believe it was. Yeah.
Okay, I would make sense. Correctly. Most people that kayak there do use those. It just makes sense because it is. It depends on when you go. It can be pretty crazy there.
Yeah.
I mean, the Lake Ontario is a pretty quiet lake compared to Superior and Lake Michigan. Those totally different. The storms that rack those are just massive compared to here. So, okay.
So
any other
just go back to hobbies. Beck actually reminded me. Geocaching is something I've gotten into since the pandemic.
Got you back into or for the first time?
Back into. My mom and I did it for a while, kind of off and on. But with the pandemic, I'm like, I can get out. I'm kind of usually when I'm hiking, I'm geocaching too. Yeah. So I can kind of do that.
It's a blast. So geocaching, for people that don't know, it's using a GPS and finding, there'll be a list of caches in the area, and it could be something as simple as like an ammo box or a little plastic box, or sometimes there's little coins that have been all around the world, and you're supposed to pick it up and take it to another place. And it's a lot of fun, and it's great for kids because when you're out hiking, a lot of times the kids get bored and stuff, but it gives them a goal. It gives them something to focus on. And we used to do it a lot. We used to do it all the time. Aiden was very small. Well, he's never very small. He was always a big kid, but he was about 6 or 7, and we were doing one, and he kicked a ground hornet's nest. He didn't see it at all. None of us saw it. And all of a sudden, we're just in a cloud of hornets, and he got stung like 30 times.
Ooh.
And the next day, we were talking about geocaching. We weren't sure what was going to happen. I took him home really quick, and we got him in the bathtub, hot water, and he was fine. But the next day, now again, he's like 6 years old, and I asked him, so what do you think about geocaching? Because that was like one of the first times. And he goes, well, that first one was fun. Second one, not so much. He did like a whole like old Jewish man type of thing. Not so much. It was beautiful.
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And we don't do it these days. The kids never want to go out and do those things anymore. I think we ruined them. But
yeah, you're right. I mean, it's fun kind of finding them and find this little trackable that has been who knows where. You just kind
Yeah.
of move it along its way, you know. And the kids like it because a lot of them will have little trinkets in there for them to take.
Yeah. Yeah. All kinds of little stuff. And it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. Okay. So, and that goes hand in hand with the, I got to do that again. Maybe I can get Michelle to go out and do that. It's that time of the year when it's super nice. Right now it's 66 degrees. I have the windows open. It is so beautiful. This is weird for us. Usually it's a lot cooler. Usually we might hit 60 in the middle of, at noon or 1 o'clock, and it's down to 40 or 30 at night, but it's been so warm. So I got to get out there and just do something. Okay. Did we cover any of and is there any other hobbies or any other things you like to reading? Is there any,
Yeah. I mean, I go through spells with reading, I'll read like nonstop for like weeks at a time. Then I'll finish, and then it'll be like a few months before I pick something else up.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah. I've been reading a lot of like the post-apocalyptic novels. I've got a stack of magazines on the book on the nightstand that I'm trying to get through. Just
Like
old
what kind?
Like Backpacker magazine.
Okay, that could have got us into some trouble there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the digital age though. Nobody has those type of magazines anymore. Backpacker and stuff. Okay, yeah, I used to get that one.
Yeah, I used to subscribe to Guitar World back in the day, but I mean, that it's not what it used to be. So
no,
I haven't renewed that subscription in 15 years.
And what's the latest book that you read? Can you remember what the last one was?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember the name.
I always forget.
But I get an email every day from it's a company called Robin Reads, and they'll give me a list of things I might be interested in that are low cost or free. And it's probably one of those books that I download for free onto Kindle.
Gotcha.
That was most of the time they're actually pretty good.
That was gonna be my next question too. Is do you like using
I'll rephrase that. I don't have the Kindle. I have the Kindle app.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have my Galaxy tablet that has the app.
This one's super old. I mean, the cover's like all peeling and stuff, but this is the Kindle. I don't remember which one this is, but this might be the first Paperwhite.
I feel like I have that. No, I have a bigger. I think I still have it somewhere.
It's it's a smaller screen, but for regular books and stuff, I absolutely love it. You can carry even this old one. This one's got to be at least 10 years old. I mean, it was like 3,000 books at a time you could carry on it. I don't know why it's not coming up here. Maybe the battery's dead. Oh, there we go. But even comic books and stuff, they're, okay on it. It's a little bit of a smaller screen, but it's just handy to have. I can pop this into like a freezer baggie and then put that freezer baggie in another one, take it out with me when I'm kayaking. Like I would kayak to the sandbar and go sit down over there and read a book.
Oh, nice.
I absolutely love doing that.
Yeah.
So Goodreads though is a great site for that type of stuff too. Now Amazon's bottom, it's a lot more commercial than it used to be, but it's still really useful.
Yeah, I've used Goodreads, and I think is that the one that links to your local library? Oh no, I'm thinking Overdrive.
Overdrive, yes, which is very cool too. The fact that you can check out digital books like that, that is very cool.
I've taken advantage of that a couple of times.
Yeah, me too.
The Book of Shadows is a good series for post-apocalyptic. It's another one of those that I think I found on like Google Play. It was
it sounds
free,
familiar.
So I downloaded the first one. I was hooked, and I found the second one.
I feel like they made a TV show out of it.
Yeah, let me find the other series that I also really like. The author is A.R. Shaw. She's out of Seattle area. She does a lot of the post-apocalyptic, not even zombie type, but like survivalist almost.
Yeah, I like those too. The dystopian future type stuff.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
I like those a lot. And the one that she wrote, I can't remember the name of the series. I think it's like the Graham's Redemption series. Let me check my library real quick, see what I have in there.
I don't know that one. Yeah, Graham's, I should update.
Graham's Resolution series.
What is it?
It's the Graham's Resolution series. The first one she wrote before the pandemic. It's actually called The China Pandemic. And if you're reading it, it's eerily similar to what we went through.
Oh boy.
But
Let's not even, I can just imagine.
Those are really good.
Yeah, I dig that kind of stuff too. Like The Road and stuff like that. That's an old one, but all those, I'm drawing a blank on all of them, or the ones that are so far in the future that mankind has started to grow back again, but there's all these ancient things that are from our time, like they find bits of airplanes and stuff and they don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's kind of the premise of that Horizon Zero Dawn game, is that humanity is 1,000 years in the future. Humanity is rebuilding.
Yeah,
and we've gone back to tribalism and different various sects and all that.
And there's all these leftover robot parts, right?
Yeah,
that you can harvest and make your own. And yep,
that's exactly it. And I'm not normally big. I'm not huge on sci-fi, but I think if I read like sci-fi kind of in a future dystopian type world of we're kind of rebuilding, I might get into it. I don't know why. Sci-fi's never really been my thing.
Huh. I would have sort of thought that, with all of that it would have been a little bit. So just never fantasy and sci-fi is not Lord of the Rings and stuff is just not for you, really?
I haven't actually read the Lord of the Rings, but I mean, Becca has. She's a huge fan of it. But a lot of it, I love the movies.
Yeah.
And I'd be willing to give the books a shot. But there comes a time where there's so many characters, for me, it's hard for me to keep up.
Yeah.
No matter how many times I've watched the Lord of the Rings movies, I'm always asking her the same questions. What's this person's name again? And who are they?
I can just imagine. She's probably like, and I don't want to watch that with you anymore. I don't want to watch that. I'm done with that. It'll be a divorce movie or something.
Yeah.
I want a divorce. We're not watching this again.
Yeah, and that's why I've read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it didn't really do a whole lot for me personally.
Yeah, that is sci-fi, but that is such a so far out, But it's sci-fi. But the humor in that, the humor didn't do it for you in that one, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
that's my kind of humor.
I always appreciate a good 42 joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, I finish. I'm like, it was okay.
Different strokes, different folks.
Yeah. Now that said, I love Star Trek. I grew up on The Next Generation. I love watching the shows, the movies, and I like Star Wars. But again, it's one of those things where a lot of times I'm losing track as to who's who.
Gotcha. I like them all. I'm very easily entertained. That's one thing that Chattanooga Ed and I, we disagree on quite often, because he's a lot more jaded because he worked at a movie theater for a long time and he's seen so many movies. It's almost like being a movie critic. You start to get jaded. Was I entertained? I'm good. That's a great movie because I was entertained. That's how I can overlook plot holes. I can overlook, a lot of that stuff. I'm just so easy when it comes to entertainment. So
yeah. Now that said, I very rarely will I not watch a movie involving airplanes and not point out the obvious inconsistencies. Yes. I mean, obvious to me.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Now, does that bug Beccs at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
But she has her things where she's watching that she knows a lot more than I do about.
Yeah.
And she's doing the same thing.
Yep. Computer stuff, same way for me, because I was an IT guy for most of my career. So yeah, I'd watch something and I'm like, you can't do that. I mean, that's not how it works. Just like, the ongoing enhance, that joke that's going. But I get it. Yeah, I get it. When you do something for a living, it's easy to see where they gloss things over, but I try to look over it. I try. If it's entertaining. So
then you get someone like my dad who, I used to watch The Walking Dead. I thought I just got stupid after season 4, so I stopped. But, one time we were talking about it, he's like, if you can just suspend belief, like, Dad, I'm watching a show about zombies. I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Well, and that point, I remember years and years ago, No, it couldn't have been that long because it was when Lord of the Rings came out, and I had friends who were arguing about the orcs in the formations that they were in, and they were talking about no, that the movie's all wrong because there's no way they would use those formations, and I'm like, they're fucking orcs, what you gotta, so you gotta at some point, just enjoy what you got in front of you. So
yeah.
You know what? It's been an hour. We should probably open it up to the chat. What about is there any movie or TV show that you absolutely just hate with a passion?
Oh man. I mean, the obvious answer to that would be anything involving the Kardashians.
Good man.
I'm trying to think of any movie that I just downright hate. I'm sure there is. I'm just not really thinking one right now.
Yeah.
That's where you and I are similar in the fact that I love like lowbrow humor. I love Super Troopers. I will watch Super Troopers all day long.
Yes.
And contrary to popular belief, I didn't think the second one was that bad.
It was okay. It wasn't horrible. It was okay. Not as
nothing,
good as the first one, but still fun.
Yeah. The first one is a classic.
Right meow.
I'm sure between.
Go ahead.
Good. I was gonna say, I'm sure between Eric and me, we could probably, and Steven, we could probably quote that movie from beginning to end.
I love it, but I can't quote anything. And that's the thing is my memory's not so great. So people will say, they'll say like a quote from a movie, and a lot of times it goes right over my head, even though it's a movie that I absolutely loved and have watched a dozen times. I just don't remember. It just happens to me all the time. We talked about Letterkenny at the Clash.
Yeah.
Oh, also for people who didn't know, I got to give Kyle a little smack on the ass at the Clash as well. Just a little.
I got the Rico ass caress.
Excuse me. But have you got to see Letterkenny? Have you watched much of it yet?
No, I actually keep forgetting to do it. Usually when we'll go to the bedroom, just turn something on, and I haven't really. I need to. I know I've been bad. I'm terrible.
Yes,
but
you need to.
But I have watched the first 3 or 4 episodes of the new Rick and Morty season.
Yeah, the new Rick and Morty is good. I think I've watched all of it. Yeah, it was pretty good.
I'm 3 or 4 episodes in. I haven't watched the other ones yet.
Solar Opposites. Did you care for that one?
You told me about that one, but I forgot to look for it.
That's pretty good. It's not as good as Rick and Morty. It's made by the other guys, not Dan Harmon, but the other guys who made Rick and Morty, and it's good. It's fun. It's more. I mean, they do some things that are a little out there, but not as much as Rick and Morty. But anyways, back to Letterkenny. You gotta watch Letterkenny, so that we can, talk about it. And when you watch it with subtitles on. Watch it with the captioning because sometimes they talk so fast you start to miss some things.
Yeah, I mean, I had an old coworker of mine who would always play me clips of it, and I was just dying watching them. So. I always called it, and I said this before at the Clash and stuff, but it's the smartest dumb show on television or the dumbest smart show because it's stupid. It's stupid. But at the same time, the dialogue is so smart and so witty and engaging, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful show. And you really need to watch it. So, I changed my answer. The one movie that I watched in the last few years that I absolutely hated was the sequel to Independence Day.
I don't even remember it. I'm sure I watched it too, but I don't remember it.
It was awful. I only watched because it was one of the in-flight movies, and I'm like, I'm glad I didn't pay for that. It was terrible.
That bad.
Yeah.
Who was the stars?
Let's see. They brought back.
Was it just Randy Quaid and like?
I don't remember Randy Quaid in it, but they brought back Bill Pullman. I think they brought back Vivica A. Fox and a couple of new people for obviously Will Smith wasn't back. I think the guy that played his son was though. I'm kind of flushing it out of my memory because it was just terrible.
Yeah. I'm sure that I've seen it, but I don't remember it at all. So okay.
Yeah.
Now's a good time to open it up to the chat. And hey, Chris Biggs, hey everybody, thank you so much. People that came in and said hi. Again, we weren't even looking at the chat at all. It was all about just a conversation. Before though, we open it up to the chat. Anything that we didn't touch on that, like big things that happened in your life that sort of helped create the person you are today that we didn't touch on? Is there anything like that that you feel like we should have touched on and we should have talked about a little bit?
I mean, I wouldn't say anything big, but just I grew up a little differently than others, in my opinion. I'm not gonna get too much into that, but I feel that kind of shaped who I am and who I've become.
In a good or bad way?
In a little bit of both.
Okay.
I've got some insecurities that I think I've developed as a result, but I've also, my personality is shaped by how I've grown up.
Gotcha.
So
are you close with your family? Do you still have family around? Do you talk to family?
Yeah. I talk to my parents. It's just one of those things where I call them whenever I feel like it.
Yeah.
I try to talk to my grandmother whenever I can. She's 97, so I don't have much time left with her. Yeah. So my aunt and uncle who live next door to her. So, I have my family members that I talk to fairly regularly.
Yeah. We didn't talk about brothers and sisters too. Any of those, or were you a single kid?
No, I do have a sister. She's younger than me by about 4 years, and she is a nurse down in Florida. And my brother-in-law is a cop down there too.
A cop and a nurse.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
CSI Miami.
Yeah.
And you close with her? Do you talk to her often?
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some stuff happened a few years ago, and we haven't really spoken since.
Yep. I understand.
Again,
Same boat.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna get too much into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know you get it.
Family isn't the people that you're born, that you share blood with. Family is, you found Beccs, you found the rest of us. That's family. Family is who you make of it. Just because somebody's blood relative doesn't mean they're family.
Yeah.
Even close. You get to decide who your family is. So, and I believe in that 100%. And I definitely made that decision myself. So,
yeah. And, that's part of the reason why at some point I had no desire to ever go back to Florida. I haven't been back to Florida in 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And I've never had any reservations or any regrets leaving Florida.
I'm with you.
I've never been homesick. Like, I just want to get back. Never had that happen. And in fact, some days I wish I was further away than I am.
Another thing we have in common for sure.
But yeah,
I'm so sorry. I can't get rid of this cough again tonight.
You're good. But yeah, it's just a different way of growing up.
I understand. I do 100%. And you can let it shade your life, or you can make choices to not be that way, and learn from those types of things when you become a parent, and not do those things to your kids, and not be that way with your kids. So, okay. Real quick. There's 70 people currently. Oh, sorry. 69 giggity. Before we open it up to questions, a couple things I want to bring up. First of all, Fishfam Christmas coming up very quickly. If you are a live streamer, please sign up. It doesn't cost you a penny. All you have to do, we're gonna talk to you. We're gonna find a schedule, and sometime between December 18th and January 1st, Santa Claus is gonna show up on your stream and give away stuff that's donated from the community. Doesn't hurt you in any way. It's only a positive. It's gonna help you with, hopefully you get some extra subs and viewers and all that kind of fun stuff out of it. Plus, you get that good feeling, that good warm feeling of being involved with an amazing event and giving stuff away and making people feel good. As viewers, to win, you just have to watch from December 18th through January 1st. Watch all the live streams you can, because you don't know where Santa's going to be. Nobody's allowed to advertise, so you have no idea. And there's a few different Santas. There's Mrs. Claus. There's some elves. There's all kinds of people helping out this year. So Santa could be in 3, 4, 5 places at the same time. maybe that's a little bit much, but multiple places at the same time. But we need help. We need you guys to reach out to your favorite Fishfam live streamers. And that Fishfam thing, you know, I get it. Some people don't like the term, or some people don't, whatever. Fish tubers, whatever you want to call them, people that are in our community, reach out to them and please have them sign up. Mods are dropping the links. I see Beccs and Steven, Zen Ginger. Thank you guys so much. Again, can't do anything without you guys. The mods are the backbone. But please, you know, reach out to those people. Also, if you happen to know somebody at a fish company, fish keeping company, if you have stuff yourself that you'd like to donate, we do need a lot of donations still. So please, you know, all that information is there on how to do all that stuff. There is no requirements. And I see Casual Aquatics. Hey, Casual, make sure you sign up. I know we talked about it. I felt awkward, like my channel wasn't big enough, but it was really cool. I had Santa Ed. Yes. And Casual, thank you for bringing that up. There is no requirements for how many subs you have. You can have 5 subs. You can have 50,000 subs. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in any way. We want all that big range. We want everybody involved in it. So the only real stipulation is you have to be somebody we know, right? We have to see your name out there, right? And that's pretty easy. And the second part is you have to be a live streamer. It can't just be videos that you put out. You do have to live stream. Oh, I'm sorry. You do have to be 18 or have a parent on your streams with you as well. So those 3 things. All right. That's all of it. And thank you, mods, again, for dropping all the links. You know, this is the time of the year you're going to be hearing about Fishfam Christmas. It's just going to be like, hey, Fishfam Christmas. It's going to be constant. It's going to be in your face, you know, all the time. Yes, Canadians, UKians, the Swedes, the Aussies, just all of them, everybody, global, everywhere around the world. Everybody is welcome to join as channel hosts, as winners, as all of it. We want you people in. We want everybody involved. And if you don't get involved, you can go yourself. Sorry, I was on a roll there. Sorry, I take back that last part. You don't have to go F yourself. But I really want to get more people involved. We have a committee this year that's working on it. They're doing an amazing job with all kinds of promotional stuff and organization and everything. And we need to take advantage of it and really make this event huge. So thank you. All right. That was the one thing. The other thing is the phrase for tonight, which I don't have this on a regular thing, but starting right now, whoever makes me laugh the most by using the phrase cockpit, either in a joke or just in a great sentence or something, whoever uses that phrase and makes me laugh the most, it's a t-shirt. It's a Rico Stand t-shirt. And again, Canadians are welcome to join too there, Mr. Biggs. So, okay. So now is a good time. Please do the @Rico Stand. Now you can see the chat, I can tell. Please do @Rico Stand so it pops out at me. But Kyle, if you do see something that you want to answer, feel free. And the very first one I see is Fishymon saying, great speech. I know which parts you liked. I know which parts you liked. So the very first one I see, speaking of Swedes, Mickey is Kyle's favorite fish. Now, not being a fish keeper, but you've gotten a little more involved and interested.
Yeah. So, and I really like a lot of the puffers out there. And Becca's been showing me a lot of the loaches, especially like the dojo loach.
Yeah.
They're just, they have such personalities. So many of them that, I mean, you can't help but even if you're like me and don't really keep fish, you can't help but like gravitate toward that and go, that's really cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's some fish that I couldn't name a lot of them, but that I like seeing like the color on them and the iridescence when they come up next to the light.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you even have one, to be honest. I wasn't sure if you have one.
I don't really have a favorite fish, but you know, I always appreciate I always appreciate aquariums.
Yeah.
I'm not one to do all the work that goes into it,
Yeah.
but I enjoy seeing the final result.
Yeah. And Beccs has got, that 60-gallon that she's got going on. It looks amazing. And
Yeah.
her other ones too. She definitely does aquascaping. She's not like me where I just throw stuff in the tank and see what happens. But Jeremy wants to know if there's any flying fleas in your future. That's sort of hard to say.
Flying fleas.
Isn't that a type of
don't
airplane?
know. None that I've heard of.
It just sounds like it should be like something from World War II. The famous flying fleas. Fly. Yeah, experimental aircraft. There's very small types of airplanes.
Huh. I am not.
It's a very, very tiny one.
Huh.
There's even an organization, Flying Flea Experimental Aircraft Association, or the FFLIA.
Let me look that up because I am not familiar at all with that one.
Let's see if we can get you a picture of one of these.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You found one? Okay.
Yeah. Listen, I may work with planes, but I don't know all of them.
Gotcha. We sure do have a lot of friggin' pictures of them. Beccs is asking for both Myrtle's question and Brookley's question.
Oh man, that's not fair.
Yeah,
I thought it was one per person at a time.
This is gonna. Well, Mark Strilson has Myrtle's question then because it's right below.
All right.
Excuse me.
No, you're good. You're good. So to Myrtle's question, I've actually been thinking about this. One thing I would change about you is that you need to get better about accepting things because, people send you things because we love you, because we like you, because we appreciate you. And I hope you get better because Becca wants to send you some cookies. And if you don't accept them, then she's going to cry. That's going to make me upset.
What could I do? Send them back? I mean, they're cookies. They're not going to make it out of here alive. I mean,
all right. Baby steps. Baby steps.
And that all goes back to the imposter syndrome and stuff that we've talked about before. And it's difficult. It is. I feel guilty receiving gifts. I always have from people. Now, it was very different when I first started because I didn't see a lot of you guys so much as friends. I didn't know so many of you guys like I do today. People were sending me stuff and I just felt very uncomfortable about it. But now you guys are friends. You guys are my family. It's a whole different thing. And I'm very much more accepting of that. And I like to do that kind of stuff myself too. So it's definitely changed. And I've come to accept it a lot more because again, you guys matter to me a lot. The community matters to me a lot. It really does. It's a big part of what my daily routine is. And it's a big part of who I am as a person today. And, when you guys send me stuff, I do. Yeah. I appreciate the hell out of it. It's amazing. So,
yeah.
I'm on my way.
Yeah. And I can honestly say that, again, even though I'm not a fish keeper, I and I'm sure most of the people here in the chat really enjoy when you stream and just the afternoon delight, just a hangout stream. We just enjoy spending time with you, being around you. I mean, I think you and I have so much in common, and that's why, when I can, I love watching your streams. Yeah.
I remember when Beccs told me that you really, really enjoyed watching them. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Because I'm still amazed. I mean, there's 73 people in here right now, and that's amazing to me that people still want to come in and watch. It just and granted, tonight they're here for you, but still, it's just something I'll never that part I'll never get used to. So, what would I change about Kyle? See, I try not to think about these things ahead of time. I do my best. I like natural stuff. Ask Beccs. I'm horrible with scripting things and helping out when they want to do stuff like that to create promotional stuff. I don't want anything to do with it. Everything's fly by the seat of my pants. Everything. That's how I do things.
I get that.
I don't like to plan.
I get
fly by the seat of my pants. But sometimes it comes back to bite me in the ass because I have nothing really right now that I would change about you. I enjoyed the time we spent at the Keystone Clash. I had a blast with both you and Becks, and of course all the rest of the people.
Absolutely.
I do wish you guys were closer. I hope that can happen because it's very difficult for me to travel. So if you guys were in Pennsylvania, we could hang out at least once every other month or something.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I would say is that I wished you guys were closer, and that's not very fair because that's one for you and Becks.
No, I mean, we're talking about it. Absolutely.
I hope it happens.
Yeah, there's I've got some options. It's like I said. I mean, Allentown has an airport that is pretty centrally located to you and Philly and whoever else is in that area.
Is it international Allentown one?
I think in name only.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm sure they have a customs facility, but they don't have any international flights.
Okay.
Plus,
most people
Allentown's 30 minutes from where I would go.
Okay.
But we have options. We're talking about it, and we'll when that time comes, we're definitely going to consider it and just take it from there. They make it kind of difficult to transfer right now, but when
right now or just in general.
It used to be a little bit easier.
Okay.
But the way things are right now, they make it a little bit more difficult to transfer. But when the time's right and I can and I want to, then it's definitely something we are seriously considering.
I mean, you guys are used to winters. Colorado definitely gets its share of winters, I got to get down to that one. Was that Scotty becoming a member or using his member? We'll have to get down there. We'll have to get down and see what that was. The other one was Brookley's question. You remember what Brookley's is?
Yes, and this is an easy one. I can actually move my ears up and down, not independently, not quite that good, but on command. Let's see if I can.
We got to see it.
Yeah. Let me see if I can do it.
And for people who don't know, the Brookley question is: do you have any weird physical trait? We can't see it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how well it would show up.
Yeah,
but I can move my ears up and down just by kind of.
It's easier when you're muscles. Like wearing a hat, because you can do the, I don't know. Have you ever seen that where people?
Yeah.
Yeah. For anybody who didn't know, the Brookley question is: do you have any like physical traits that are a little bit odd? Anything that you can do physically that's strange? Let's see. We're getting some of the. Matt had a banana hammock in the cockpit. Difference between a cockpit and a condom: you can only fit one prick in a condom. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. And another one of our traditional, and thank you guys so much. I absolutely love the traditional now. We've been doing this for more than a year. You might be the 80th. Wow. You're very close. So we're like 79 or 80 interviews. And I took a month off and so we're somewhere around very close to 80, 79 to 81. You're one of those. So It's just very cool that there's been these just the organic growth of the questions that are traditional that have been asked for a year now. Just amazing to me. But favorite sandwich?
Ooh,
that's from your buddy Eric. Whose shirt you're wearing?
Sandwich.
Now, is that the updated shirt?
I don't know. That's one that I got from the Clash.
Okay, so, that is not the updated shirt. Do you remember the updated shirt?
I don't. I didn't know there was an updated shirt. Maybe I did.
Eric knows the updated shirt.
Let's see. Favorite sandwich. I just like sandwiches. It's been a while since I've bought any, but I really like roast beef.
Yeah, just roast beef.
Roast
mustard?
Beef and cheese. I'm not a mustard fan.
No. There's one thing we don't have in common. I absolutely love mustard. Uh-oh, she telling you?
Yeah, she's telling me something.
Oh.
But yeah. I love roast beef and cheese. I like basically anything with cheese.
Good man.
Phallic objects in the discus, Kyle. Phallic objects in the discus.
Phallic
The
objects.
updated shirt.
Oh, yes. Okay. I have been informed as to the updated shirt. Yes.
The name is no longer Eric.
Yes.
I said Ewick. I said Ewick. Ewick Wywok.
That
It's
reminds me of Life of
something
Brian.
that rhymes with rock.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I do know the updated shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like mustard, so.
But
generally.
cheese, not
I
butt
love
cheese.
No, not
I said
butt
butt cheese, not butt cheese, but cheese. Do you have a favorite type of cheese?
Mozzarella, provolone.
So you're mild.
Yeah.
I like a little pingy. I like a little bite.
Being from South Florida, actually, I take that back. Roast beef isn't my favorite. Being from South Florida, a Cuban sandwich.
Oh yeah, I do like a
real
Cuban
sandwich. You know, they try to emulate them out here in Colorado, and it just does not work. They are Cuban inspired. But
I've never had a real one because I've been to Florida, but I was like 5. I've never had a real Cuban sandwich, but my son makes something that's called a Cuban that is absolutely delicious. I love it every time he makes it. They're so good.
Yeah, Cuban sandwiches. Oh man.
Real quick, Craig Doniger, I might or might not have a couple of L134s I can give away, but have to be for Aussies. Yes, that is great because we do have at least one Australian streamer. Craig, I think you do streams once in a while, right? So you could also sign up. But we can make that item be specifically for people in Australia. And if, say, a Canadian wins, we'll make it, we'll give them, the cash instead. So that is definitely something that we can work out, Craig. Cockpit was Rico's nickname in college. Very good, John. Speaking of, that's a good one. Speaking of traditional jokes and stuff, Cockpit was Rico's name in college.
And by the way, yes, Jenna, a Cuban does have mustard on it.
And pickle, right?
Oh, I love pickles. Yes.
It's a fat, slim slice of pickle.
Yeah.
I know fat slim sounds weird, but wide, but very thinly sliced.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember everything that's on it. It's ham, it's pork, mustard, pickle. I think there's one other meat. I forget.
And it's pressed. It's pressed, right?
It's generally pressed, yeah.
Yes. Again, my son Aiden makes a great one.
I love Cuban sandwiches. And
hello to everybody that's come in. We're at 69 still, and I appreciate all you guys coming in. And Chris Biggs said everybody wants an old dude shirt with an old dude's face on. Of course they do. My daughter loved them before I was ever a YouTuber. Her and her college friends had a few of my shirts. Lady Rorschach. Well, we might make that happen anyways. If I were to win the t-shirt, it would be Sticky from Use in the Cockpit. Gross. Scotty the Fish Freak says, what do you call a rooster in a pit?
Oh, God.
I don't see the answer, though. I'm no Kyle, but that's the best joke you're going to get from me. Oh, cockpit.
Yeah.
Rooster in a pit. I was like looking for the answer.
And for Scotty, I've been told that I have to do this. Here's my dad joke.
Oh. Okay.
Scotty, did you know that the Canary Islands have no canaries on them? The same could be said about the Virgin Islands. They don't have any canaries either.
I honestly thought you were going to go, caw. Let's see. You rule, enjoy the moment, Michael says. New local Austin. What's up, Michael? It's good to see you, man. Scrolling down, what do you call a cockpit staffed by females pilots? A box office. Cockpit sounds like a terrible anatomy error. It's an innie. Sushi in cockpit aquarium. What did one cockpit say to the other cockpit? And we'll have to see if we get down to there. Again, I'm just sort of skipping down. There's a lot of chat going on and stuff, and I'm skipping down and looking for the @Rico stand, so it just pops out and makes it easier. And Jeremy says, I win. Flying Flea is a homemade single-seater aircraft. Yeah, which we did find out, but we didn't know. I thought it was. I think I've seen something about it. Either I knew somebody who was into it or something. Metalhead said, and Josh says Kyle should start a late night stream called "What's in Kyle's Cockpit." Yeah, I got nothing. I wasted all at work. It's all those work TikToks you're doing there. We got another one, the box office. Stump the airplane guy, Jeremy says.
Well, he did.
What do a condom and a jet fighter have in common? A cockpit. So far, I'm going to say it, and John, my Fish Tanks Aquatics, is in the lead. I love that he rolled that into that, that simple joke, my nickname in college. I saw some comedians say that a long time ago, and that thing has just taken on a life of its own. I will always accept cookies and cheese and pie and all kinds of stuff. But cheese, hell yeah. I just love cheese. Sushi and pie are my favorites, but cheese is right in there too. If I could have a sushi cheese pie, he just wants fish tubers to sit on his knee in his cockpit and tell him what he wants for Christmas. Susan, hi Susan, Fishfam mom. This is for Kyle. Haul along until we get an airplane plushies, and also I call dibs. I could see that. I could see that being some of the merch. Is that something you guys have been talking about?
I could always make it like JJ at the jet plane, just put my face on the nose.
That'd be good. Yep, you got to. Yeah, no maggot cheese, Nano. Yes. Oh, God, that stuff was so nasty.
Should I ask what maggot cheese is?
Jenna, what's the name of it again, guys? They'll tell us, but I'm so far up in the chat that I won't even get to it. If you want to get down to the bottom of the chat, Jenna told us. I can't remember. Did Beccs just say it? I heard her say something.
No, I missed what she said.
It's like Marza or something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's maggot cheese that has liquid coming out of it. And it's disgusting and soft and just, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't even sound appetizing.
And Silver Creek is telling me about Asian countries considered dishonor. Yep, that's fine. I mean, so it's not to accept is reject their kindness. Yeah. Silver Creek. Cockpit fam. Craig says, I must have pissed someone off. Oh, what happened? I missed it. Oh, you're talking about the rain and stuff. How long has Kyle been an ass kisser? Geek Boy wants to know.
Not long enough yet. I'm not where I want to be in my career, so.
Steven, we already got the Brooklyn one, but I mean, I'm so far behind. You probably asked that. Yeah. What were we gonna say?
I've been kind of sitting on this debate whether or not to tell it, but I think I have a story from actually just a couple weeks ago that you might enjoy. So I'm at work. I'm sitting there in the radar room doing some training, and as I'm walking in the morning, there's a group of teenagers or something just getting toward the facility, and so I'm sitting there in the radar room. I look up. There's nobody in there. No big deal. Then I start getting busy. And I'm working. I tell an airplane to do something, it didn't work out. And then I just say, oh, fuck. and then I hear a very stern, hey, from the manager. I look up, it was at that point I realized, oh, I'm sharing this room with 8 14-year-olds.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh boy.
Did he really was he really upset or anything? Was he?
He wasn't. In fact, we have a little resting room off to the side of our break room. That I kind of went there, closed the door because I didn't want to deal with his wrath. But then somebody knocked on the door. I'm like, oh shit! I open it up. It's one of the other controllers and the manager sitting there. They're cracking up about it. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, that's great timing. And were the kids like?
I don't know.
I mean,
the radar room is dark, so
yeah.
I can't see the expression on their face. But
gotcha.
Yeah, I look up at 1 minute, nobody's in there, just me and whoever else is supposed to be in there.
You think it's open, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just focused on what's in front of me, not paying attention to anything else around me. And then until somebody yelled at me for dropping an F-bomb in front of some teenagers.
I'm sure I've done the same thing, but it probably was like with gas or something, like I farted or something, and the room was clear just a minute ago. But it would have been clear afterwards too. So
yeah.
Let's see. Silver Creek says, "Is that your alternative warning, or do you need to get better control of the center stick in your cockpit?" He's definitely going deep in the
Oh yeah.
Oinky. Why did Santa decide to forego his reindeer and fly a plane? Because Mrs. Claus couldn't ride him in the cockpit, couldn't ride with him. That's important to put with him, not ride him in the cockpit in a Mile High Club. They took off and landed in a hazy cloud of smoke in Colorado. Nano wants to know, what's your favorite food? No cream cheese pizza allowed.
Ooh, I like a lot of food.
Cream cheese pizza? Is there a story there?
Oh yeah, there's a story there. It's actually part of one of our favorite pizzas up in from a place in the Denver area. They call it the Heavenly Hawaiian, and it's the golden barbecue sauce with pineapple and cream cheese on it, and I think it's almonds. It sounds like a disgusting combination, but it's so good.
I definitely would
So
try
good.
that. Now, is the cream cheese like a layer, or is it just like
No.
little bits of it?
Yeah, it's just little dollops of it.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. I'd try that.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
And what'd you say it was? Almonds?
Yeah, I think it's almonds.
Yeah, hell yeah, I would try that. But what is your favorite food, though?
Whew, man, I just like to eat, but favorite food. There's a lot. Every once in a while, Becca will make a stuffed pork chop, which is amazing. Going back to the Cuban thing, there's a Cuban sandwich casserole that's usually a little bit more involved. It's got some rice and some sausage and some Swiss cheese.
Ooh,
Yeah, I just like to eat. I can't really answer that question.
yeah.
I just like food.
Oh, I mean, it's very difficult. I love food too. I mean, again, I do love sushi and I do love pie and I do love cheese, but that Cuban casserole, that sounds amazing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell Aiden. Hold on, where's he at? Where's my phone?
And if you want it, we have the recipe in the house somewhere. I can.
Oh, yeah.
send it to you. Yeah,
Please
send it to you. It's really easy.
I just want to send a message to him real quick as a reminder.
Oh yes, Jenna, thanks for the reminder. That pizza also has ham and coconut on it.
I don't know the coconut. I mean, again, I would try it because you just don't know. You just don't know. Things might sound gross. You just don't know, and you should be open to new experiences. Yes, I mean that. However you want to take it. Hold on, sorry. Let me just send him a message because I will forget this.
Yeah, we'll find it. We'll send it to you.
Please do.
Yeah, it's really easy to make.
That sounds amazing.
Who I saw one. Mike B. Have I ever had a stressful situation with any aircraft having issues? The answer to that is yes. Fortunately, I've never been involved with any fatal accidents. But I've been involved with a few minor ones. I had a gear collapse on one of them. It was just a little trainer plane. This case, he landed and he was kind of at taxiing speed, but at the same time, one of his gear just collapsed and he veered off the runway. It was one of those things where it wasn't serious. I was trying to tell my supervisor, but at the time, I'm like, yeah, that happened. But the worst one I had was back at my last facility up in Westminster. I was coming in for the day, coming upstairs, and I plug into position, and I was working local, what pilots call tower. And I'm looking at the radar scope, and I see this airplane just orbiting over an area, 10, 15 miles north of the airport. And I didn't think much of it because occasionally we'll have like oil pipeline survey crews up there doing that. So I didn't think much of it. About 30 minutes later, he calls in and he's saying that he's having a landing gear issue. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, shit's about to hit the fan. So he tells me what he wants to do. He wants to circle over the lake that's like 2 miles within our airspace. I'm like, okay, just, proceed as you need to. Let me know when you're ready to come in. And it's one of those where I had to convince the guy to land at the airport that was 2 miles from him, and it basically told him, look, either you're going to run out of fuel and gravity is going to set you down wherever it damn well pleases, or you can land under your own power. So he eventually decides he wants to land, but he's got to burn off some fuel because he's too heavy. So he's circling for a while. We have the local news helicopter was out doing its traffic thing, but he was coming back in based at that airport. He's like, hey, we can always go over there and, kind of help you out.
Man, dude, does that, what can they do?
Well, they have the camera, so they can they can look in their cockpit and kind of give me an idea as to what's going on over there. We don't necessarily want to be on the news, but it's a resource, so I'm going to use it.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I mean, I didn't know what they could possibly do to help.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like
They can aim their camera at the plane and kind of zoom in and kind of
gotcha.
relay to me what's going on.
Okay, yeah. Just give you the news about what's going on.
Of course, it became a news story.
Yeah.
But yeah, he eventually burns off enough fuel. He comes in, and he actually did a really good job. One of his gear was stuck in the up position, so he was landing with 2 wheels. He sets it down, and he's on the center line of the runway for most of the ride. And then eventually, everything just collapses. He veers off, and it like takes out a couple of the runway signs on the way out. But
nothing major. Nobody was
nothing
hurt.
major. In fact, first thing he did was he keyed up on the radio, goes, "We're okay." So I mean, shuts down the airport for a few hours.
Woo! Yeah,
but that's
I just saw one. Go ahead.
That's probably the most significant I've been involved with.
I just saw one. I think it was yesterday, where a 17-year-old girl landed one with no landing gear at all. It was a little plane, I don't remember what it was, but I thought of you. I thought of you and Mike, All Things Fish. She came in and she landed it, and everybody was cheering, but there was no landing gear whatsoever. It was just a little thing. I
didn't catch wind of that one.
It was. I think it was a YouTube short.
Huh, okay.
Let's see. Whip. Oh, it jumped on me.
Yeah, and I've had other ones where I've had some stupid pilots that decide to land in bad conditions and flips over the plane.
Hi, Lisa. Roots and Whiskers is here. She said, I went in the cockpit once. I thought it was going to be bigger. That's what she said.
Okay, that was good.
That's good. How is John doing too? Is he losing a friend can be difficult? I'm sorry. I'm scrolling and looking for where it jumped on me. Oh, here we go. It's our buddy Whip. If I were to gift Kyle $100 billion, and this is one that Whip has asked numerous times too. So he could do whatever he wanted. You got $100 billion. Let's just say you got money's no object. You can have all the money you need. Do whatever you wanted, whenever he wanted. What's he doing and where?
Well, the first thing I would probably do is finish up my pilot's license. Secondly, I'd probably just spend the rest of my days just traveling the world, backpacking where I can. Yeah, I'd love to go to like the Alps. Love to go to Alaska. Heck, for $100 billion, I'll buy my own jet and do it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I'd still probably live a fairly modest life. You know, there'll be signs that I'm rich.
Yeah,
you know, I'll be up there in my plane towing a banner that says, "Where's your plane, peasants?"
There'll be a bumper sticker on your plane.
Yeah,
my other car is a plane too.
And yes, I guess I could take my wife to Japan. I love you.
I am so far behind in the chat. Scotty wants to know, what's your favorite Beccs artwork and why?
Ooh, put me on the spot like that. But that's actually an easy answer. I really like her Hillstream picture, her Hillstream drawing. I really like that one.
That is a very difficult question. I think I would have to go with the 3 Corys.
That's probably
the Aldolfos. Weren't they Aldolfos?
I believe they were, yeah.
I got them sitting right here. I still haven't framed them. Fishion, hello. All right, I'm going to scroll down a little bit because there's all kinds of talk, and I'm so far behind. But it's good to see you, Lisa. Hope you're doing well. Lady Metalhead, hi, Jess. Sweaty or snow-capped, Kyle knows what cockpit your banana spider belongs in. Don't forget to bring a towel. Your banana spider. Kyle's cockpit is nice, but I prefer the one on your screen, Peplin. That's okay. That's pretty good.
And earlier I saw that Wonky had a question of, could I work at a high volume place like JFK or LaGuardia? Those places, hell no. Those places in particular can go to hell.
You wouldn't want to work there.
I would not want to work there. I've actually got a good buddy of mine that's working at Newark, and he's trying really hard to get me to come there. And I was like, no, not going to happen.
Okay, we're down to, and again, anybody that's just come in, I am at 8:28 p.m., so I'm a good 20 minutes behind. I'm at Mark Stirlson's question, where Kyle's favorite political drama show. So if you came in and said hi and you're asking questions, that's how far behind that is. What is that? How many Ricos behind is that? That's got to be well, that's 2 Ricos behind, I think.
And that's an easy answer. The West Wing.
I do like talking about my behind. I don't like any of those type of shows at all. I absolutely cannot stand any of them. So that's one thing we do not have in common.
I mean, once or twice a year, we'll go back to like HBO Max and just binge watch The West Wing. It's got the perfect balance of drama and humor, and it's such a great show. I mean, it's Aaron Sorkin, and there's not a whole lot that he does that we don't like.
Gotcha.
The other one, another good one's Madam Secretary.
Yeah, see, I just everything's lowbrow humor for me. That's where I live. Jen'd like to know what your favorite cookie is, and I think there's a ulterior motive there.
The only answer is chocolate chip. I like just about any cookie, but the only answer to my favorite is chocolate chip.
Big gooey, warm chocolate chip cookie.
Becca makes some the size of the palm of your hand, and they're just gooey and
We had some Mr. Beast gluten-free cookies. I don't know. They were on clearance, so the kids decided to buy them, and they were disgusting. They were so gross, and I still ate them all. But I got a big mug of hot chocolate that was like boiling hot, and these cookies are so they were just so dry, and they was like a powder, so I dipped them in the hot chocolate, and they were pretty edible then. So dipped in hot chocolate, they were good.
There isn't. I don't think I've met a cookie I didn't like.
Even oatmeal raisin.
I love oatmeal raisin.
You son of a bitch. Just we can't do raisins. Paul Sotero, what's up, dude? Oh, Jenna was talking about the cheese to the Kasu Marzu. So if you get a chance, look that up. It is disgusting. Disgusting. Plane was about to take off when a man burst out of the cockpit naked, yelling, "This is your captain streaking." That's pretty good. What's under a rooster's wing? It's not an armpit. It's a cockpit. There's my attempt. Thought you said MAGA cheese. Oh, yeah. No, that wouldn't be me. What's Kyle's favorite food to eat when hiking? And hi, Annette. Hope you're feeling better. That's from Annette.
I always buy Cliff Bars. Cliff Bars, trail mix, and beef jerky.
Now, what's in your trail mix?
It's just a typical trail mix of M&Ms, peanuts, raisins.
Son of a bitch. You can make trail mix without raisins, people. Try it sometime.
Sometimes dark chocolate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good. There's one we had that I can't remember what else was in it. Oh, instead of raisins, it had little chunks of papaya.
Oh, wow.
That dried papaya. Really, and that was really, really good. Kyle's favorite pumpkin product.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I got Beccs too. I went right over Beccs, so I got hers next.
Yes.
All pumpkin products.
I like, yes, all pumpkin products.
Have you ever had pumpkin pizza?
I have not, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Give the old college try.
My son, again, I talk about how what a good cook my son is. A few years ago, he was making pizza. He makes it from scratch. He makes the dough and everything, right? He does a good job. But this one time, the crust looked like a wheat crust. It was a little bit different color, and I was like, okay, I like a wheat crust once in a while. And I take a bite of it. I'm like, why does this taste like pumpkin? And he starts laughing. He just wanted to test it. So he put a little bit of pumpkin pie spice in when he was making the pizza dough. It wasn't horrible, but I was like, don't test with our food. If you want to make your own food and mess it up, then you do it. But this isn't a question. Oh, there is a question. Okay. But there's a first part here that's very heartwarming. And of course it's from our friend Eric. One of the main reasons I love Kyle is the way he supports his partner in everything she does. My question is, are there any tips he would like to share to be a better partner?
Oh, geez. I don't know.
See you. And Ryan's taking off. See you, Ryan. All right, I'm scrolling down. Oh, I forgot to do Beccs.
Just the easy answer right now that I can think of is just be interested in what they're interested in. You know, what's important to them is important to you.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I would say listen. Don't listen with the thought of, you know, how do I fix this? But just listen. Just listen. Focus right there. You're not doing anything else. They're telling you something. Listen to what they're saying to you.
I'm still working on that. I've got a lot of work to do in that.
I do too. I mean, it's been, again, our anniversary was just the other day. We've been together, not married, but together for about 35 years. And I still struggle with that almost on a daily basis.
I mean, kind of reminds me of that old joke. My wife says she has two problems with me. One, I don't listen, and something else.
Yeah. That's yeah, you've only done 2 dad jokes so far. Okay. Beccs, speaking of partners, Beccs would like to know what your favorite college memory was.
Oh man, I feel like she's baiting me on this one, but you know, yes, the good answer is the day I met her. But I think she knows where I'm going with this one. So throughout the colleges in the Southeast, they have a group of guys that go around preaching. And one of them was named Brother Micah, and he was like the fire and brimstone. You know, if a woman's wearing a dress, she's a whore. Those kind. So I'm standing there between classes one day, and he's yelling. We're all yelling back, and between me and where Becca was, there's an entire building, and this building has like a breezeway to cut through. And she heard me on the other side of the building when I was yelling. She basically comes up and basically says, "Shut up, Kyle." I'm like,
why was she shutting you up? I'm sure you were doing the right thing.
No, because it was one of those where she was walking with a friend of hers and she hears me. She's like, "Please don't be Kyle. Please don't be Kyle. Please don't be Kyle." Then she rounds the corner, sees me. She's like, "Oh crap, it's Kyle."
Okay. Let's see. Big Shrimpin says, "What's Scotty's favorite word?" Cockpit. That's pretty damn good too. That's pretty good, Big Shrimpin, man. Okay, right now, again, that's 8:49, so that's only a few minutes ago. Right now, John and Big Shrimpin, I think, are in the lead there. I've got to decide between those two right now, and we've only got a few minutes left. So I'm going to scroll down. I see Garden of Eater. What's up, Grant? A whole bunch more people came in too. Thanks everybody. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for hanging out for 2 hours with us. And I'm actually at the bottom of the chat. Hi, Deedekins and Mikey B. Okay. And if anybody did ask a question that I skipped, we do have a few minutes left. Please, I'm at that bottom of the chat right now. Go ahead and put the @RicoStan so it pops out at me again, and we'll get that. And again, is there anything that you or Beccs would like to tell us? Or, I mean, she's more than welcome to come tell us something if she has something she'd like to say, or anything coming up, anything. Zen Ginger, I did miss your question, Zenny, if it was your standard one. So I did miss it.
Yeah, we just had to knock on the door, and she has a look on her face. So give me just a second.
Is it Brother Micah?
I don't know.
No, it's not Brother Micah. Apparently, it's 2 pizzas that we didn't order.
No.
What the?
Did somebody send you pizzas while you were on the stream? Just to
I don't know. I don't know.
Mark Still said, "Thank you, man. An extra T-shirt for the dead heat. That's awesome. That's what we'll do right there, Mark."
Good. Maybe
they're not even good.
wings.
Yeah, I don't. We are not expecting pizza, and we got pizza.
Did somebody do that? Did like Steven or did somebody mess with you?
I don't know.
What's on the pizza?
There's no nothing to anything.
What's on it?
Veggies, which neither one of us like veggies on our pizza.
Oh, I do. I like a good veggie pizza.
And to answer Zen's question, I would much rather. Let's see.
You thought it was easy at first, didn't you?
I'd much rather control 1,000 planes and not be able to tell another dad joke.
I'm surprised. I thought you would have gone the other route. Eric Wyrock says, "You're welcome."
It's the mustard pizza, apparently.
Was it? Yeah, it was already paid for, right?
Yeah, we have
Geek
no
Bush
idea
says,
where they
"I
came
don't have
from.
their address. Wasn't me."
Yeah, I mean, we've already eaten, so we have
Steven
no reason to
didn't do
order
it?
pizza.
I just feel like somebody, knew that you guys were live, and that's why they did it. Almost like you basically been swatted, but with pizza.
Apparently, yeah. And I was actually just in the process of typing her Facebook message saying "knock on the door," but she heard it, and now I'm wondering, make sure that
Eric
nobody
said
stole
no.
my credit card or something.
Someone in the complex, and they didn't put apartment numbers.
Yeah, I mean, we ordered from that Domino's a lot, but it definitely weren't us this time.
Nothing wrong with free pizza.
I
Swatted
mean-
by pizza. Cat house.
Anyway, yeah, interesting.
Last
It would be
box
great if
store.
there were- yeah, that would be pretty funny if there were a cockpit joke written on there.
All right, free pizza. Wow.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't pizza you exactly like, you can always,
Yeah.
I want pizza.
Let's see, did I miss any questions and all that confusion of
Did
pizza that
not.
we
Yeah,
didn't
you got
order?
the last one. Although Mark Strilson did drop a $20 super chat,
Oh, thank you, Mark.
an extra T-shirt for the Dead Heat. I should say 20 Australian. And since we are at the end of the chat, let's go ahead and do that. Let's say Big Shrimpin' and we'll do 2 shirts. Big Shrimpin' and My Aquatics. John, you guys, my email's up at the top of the screen up there, ricostan.com. Shoot me an email, give me your address, and I will get those sent out tomorrow. Though they're from Amazon, so it's nice and easy. So just shoot me your address. So My Fish Tanks Aquatics, John, and Big Shrimpin'. A cockpit. that's pretty damn good. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And so wait, there was another question here. Let me find it. Make sure I true to the person.
And then again, anybody else who wants to ask a question, we still got just a couple minutes left. Scruffy City Aquatics, I believe, started at 8:30. I believe Whizzle and Hippie John, I don't know if they're still going, and they might still be going. Susan's not streaming right now, but Bentley Pasco at 9, Eric Furlow at 9:30. Plus, you can go look at fishfam.link and see who's coming up. But there's still a lot of good streams tonight, so don't miss out. Still a whole bunch. Tuesday night actually got very busy again. It got very busy. There's actually quite a few people streaming tonight. Oh, yeah, Mr. Eric Wyrock, too, at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
In an hour.
Yeah, can't forget that. Eric is a natural at it. He has so much energy, and Silver Creek says, how often do you touch your stick in the cockpit, or do you prefer to be a flip switcher?
Whenever I'm alone.
And with that, I think we'll go ahead and end it. That'll give us a couple minutes to do some other stuff. And everybody, thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for all of it. John and Mark, don't forget to send me your email addresses, your physical addresses, and I'll get those shirts sent out. Next week, we have Gina. We have Gina's Reef. And then the following week, we have Susie Q. And then the following week after that, I just set up 2. And who was that? It was, oh my God, I forgot. Who was it? Oh, Brennan. No, Brennan's going to actually be this Saturday. That's going to be this Saturday, Brennan. All right. Thanks, everybody. We will see you all later. Oh, anything to say before we take off?
No.